What is up, everybody? It is another edition of YouTube Live here at the Everything Phoenix YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to be action-packed, man. It's a Final Four weekend, right? It's a national championship day tonight, right? The game between the Yukon Huskies, a number one seed, the number one overall seed, actually, versus I think Houston was, but versus Purdue, which is the other or one of the other number one seeds in the tournament. So, who have you guys had? Purdue and UConn in the final game. Anybody? Be honest. Okay, I will be honest. I did. I actually did. I had Purdue and UConn in the final of my pool, and I have UConn winning it. But I think because I'm a Big Ten guy, Nebraska fan, I think I might be rooting for Purdue. I don't know, but it's going to be a great match either way. I'm looking forward to it, guys. We're going to talk about sports business and what the Final Four is doing for the city of Phoenix because it is huge. It's a big economic impact when this comes to the Final Four. And I had the fortune of going to the Final Four on Saturday to watch both games back to back, and it was amazing, guys. Bucket list for me. I've never been, but I did not go with my sons, and so they're a little upset at me. So I'm gonna have to take them next time it's in town or whatever. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us here today. We're gonna dive into that sports business and some other sports business. Big news on the Arizona Coyotes. This is going to be cool, guys. I'm going to show you what's going on there. And whether or not you're hockey fans, irrelevant, where it's going to be and what they're going to build with it. Proposed, or at least proposed, right? We don't know for sure. It looks phenomenal. So we'll see. And it's a different type of deal than last time. So let's jump into that. And let's jump into some other development. Of course, we got some other development, some chip stuff. I mean, guys, the amount of jobs, if you're a long-term gambler in a good way, say on a piece of an appreciating asset, where you have leverage with debt, not just debt, but leverage, I call it. You probably want to go all in to an extent, right? Don't go all in, not literally with everything you got, but I'm saying you might want to consider being an investor of some type in the Phoenix area over the midterm, next 5 to 10 years. Wow, looks pretty good. But who knows, right? Nothing's ever guaranteed. That's why it's called investing or gambling to an extent, right? All right, we're going to jump into the housing market as well. I'm going to share my screen and get going on that because, guys, what is going on with inventory? Inventory, we know, is actually it feels like it's very, very low, but yet it is actually increasing. But more importantly, what's going on with transaction count? That is the big issue. And what is that doing to prices? I'm glad you asked. We're going to jump right in right now. Let me share my screen and we're going to rock and roll. Here we go. We got the Crawford report up. It's the best statistics out there that you can possibly have when talking about the local Phoenix housing market, guys. And by the way, before I go any further, let us know where you're calling from, where you're watching from. I should not say calling, but where you're watching from, and let us know how we can help, how we can potentially curate better content for the people who are choosing to watch our channel here on the live. So thank you very much, guys. I know a lot of you guys watch the replay, so we appreciate that. The one we did a little while ago with the flying cars got a ton of activity. The watch time on that replay was insane. So hopefully this one will rival that one. We shall see. But here you go, guys. You got the stats right here. You have stats which are very interesting. All right, let me show you this here. First of all, let's talk about foreclosures for a second. The market, 15 years ago, 90% of the housing market talk was about foreclosures. These days, we go from 1 month to the next without thinking about foreclosures at all. How times have changed. There are always foreclosures going on. And for the homeowner and borrower involved, it can be a desperate and difficult situation. Of course, it's not too great for the lender either. But the number of foreclosures taking place this year is so low compared with 15 years ago that foreclosures have almost no impact on the general housing market. It does not look like they will do so in the medium term either. Now we're going to look at this foreclosure pending chart. Here we go. But over the past 5 years, there have been several times where self-appointed pundits popped up and predicted massive rises in foreclosures. All of these pundits have been completely wrong. And if you don't believe me, here you go. Check it out, guys. This is right here. This blue, turquoise, teal, blue, whatever, is 2024. And you can see that we're hovering around 1,000 foreclosures pending in all the Phoenix area, which is nothing compared to just a few years ago, and nothing even more so compared to 15 years ago. If you don't believe me, let's go ahead and just put up 2009. Where did all the other years go? They are still here. The check mark, guys, you can see it. But look at, they're all so little, itty bitty compared to foreclosures happening in 2009. And let's go 2010 for the fun bit as well. So we're talking 51,000 foreclosures pending in Maricopa County in 2009 at the end of the year in December. Merry Christmas. That was an interesting Christmas, 2009. Looking back on it, right? So there you have the foreclosure chart. Again, you take out those 2 years and it's nothing because it looks a lot bigger now, but that's because it's under the 1,800 mark all the way down to 0. So there you go on the foreclosure side. Now, going back to the data, you can see right now, let's see here, that these days foreclosure notices usually result in the homeowner selling privately because investors will eat all this up well before the trustee sale takes place. We currently have about 20 homes auctioned by the trustee per month. That's it, 20. And for the size of this city, guys, 5 million people, this is nothing. Back in 2009, it was not unusual to see 250 homes auctioned every single day because in Arizona, it is not a legal judicial state. It is a non-judicial trustee sale state. And therefore, we do have actually trustee sales, otherwise known as foreclosure auctions, every single day of the week. So it was busy, 250 a day back then. That is not happening right now. All right, so let's jump back in and talk about this data right here, because this is the transaction count. This is the interesting part. The affidavits of value, very boring to say that the numbers are in. And here we go. There were 6,800 closed transactions, down 13%, guys, 13% from 7,800 in March of 23, but up 16% in February. So I'm not going to worry about the numbers. We're going to talk about the percentages, guys. This is insane, okay? Transactions, again, I'm going to repeat it, down 13% from March of 23, this time last year, but up 16% from February. Guys, February was slow, very, very slow from what it usually is, okay? Closed resale transactions down 14%. So overall 13, down 14% from year over year, March to March, but up 16% from February. 16% from February, okay? Overall median sales price, here you go. So Kelly, if it's everything's down in terms of transaction counts, surely the price of homes are coming down too. Not so fast, my friend, in the great words of Lee Corso. The overall median sales price in March was $475,000, up 6.3%. Up 6.3%, guys. The median sales price from March to March, up 6.3%, and up 1.7% from just last month in February, even though sales were very slow. The resale median home price was $459,000. Okay, so the resale price a little less than the overall price, and it was up 7%. So overall 6.3. The resale median sales price is up 7 and up 2% from last month in February. The new home for new construction median sales price up to $513,000, so it's up 1.1% and down just a little bit from last month, guys. So what does this mean overall? It says closing counts were very weak in March for resales, not impressive for new homes either. Pricing continues to advance for resales, but weakened a little for new homes, only up 1.1% from a year ago. New homes took 22% of the market share. 3 years ago, new homes were only 15%, guys. That's for single family homes and condos. Now, if you look at this, guys, this is insane. Think about it. We're down 13% in closed transactions, 13% from last March at this time. Now, we are in our busy season. So you hope that it's always going to be maybe a little bit better than the year before. February to February, March to March, April, et cetera, right? In our busy season, in our seasonal season, but it's not, it's down 13%. And overall resale transactions specifically, not new homes, not any new construction included, we're down 14% in terms of transaction count. That all being said, even though it's slow, because there's not that much supply going on, people are holding firm on the prices. In fact, the average median sales price, March to March, in that same time period, increased 6.3%, increased 6.3% at a time where rates are 7%, plus or minus a few points there. 7% rates, increase of price 6.3%, even though overall transaction count is down 13 to 14%, guys. Interesting market we're in right now. Interesting market. It's not going to stay like this forever. At some point, inflation is going to give to an extent. At some point, when that happens, the Fed's going to drop the rates. And again, if you're a betting man, you're talking June here at this point of 2024 here. But don't wait until then. If you're looking to buy, maybe buy, sell, give us a call. We love to help, guys. Our number is 480-660-5974. We have a solution right now where if you have equity tied up in your house and you would like to sell, you can actually get a bridge loan for a minimal cost, a bridge loan to buy the house you want. Take the time to buy the house you want, not be stuck in a time frame situation where you have to buy something because maybe you don't want to move twice or whatever it may be. So you could actually buy the house you want with this bridge loan up to 6 months, and then it gives you 6 months to sell your house. Give us a call, 480-660-5974. We would love to help you out with that. Okay, going back to the data, now that I've said my piece regarding that, there's all kind of solutions we can come and help you out with if you would like. Big news here. Arizona Coyotes unveil arena plans to land NHL team who wants to buy in Phoenix. Land, that is. Okay, guys, there it is. That looks pretty sweet. You got the McDowell Mountains in the backdrop there in the picture. You have the arena right here, nice and sleek, right? And oblong, rectangular, but curved, really cool. And you have development behind it. So let's go down here and show you the renderings. Check this out. That looks pretty cool, guys. The renderings of that whole development right there, this square of what they want to do around the arena where the Phoenix Coyotes would also be. Pretty slick. Really modern. And the location, guys, is just second to none. I mean, look at this. I love this rendering and this design. Pretty cool. Okay, so now you say, where's this at? It's off the border of Phoenix and Scottsdale in North Phoenix. So as we zoom in, we're going to show you here. Okay, you got the 101 loop right here. You got Desert Ridge. You got the border of Phoenix and Scottsdale right here at 64th Street. And guess what's on just the opposite side? Right here, this is all state land. Right here is the proposed arena for the Phoenix Coyotes or Arizona Coyotes and the district around there. It looks amazing, guys. What a phenomenal location. Here's the 101, and there's the district. So what are they talking about doing here? Well, you can see right now that there's the glass buildings. They're looking at doing some other development with multifamily space around that and office space around that. So this looks pretty cool. The Arizona State Land Department is going to auction this off on June 27th. It's 110 acres at the northwest corner of the 101 and Scottsdale Road. The Coyotes fully intend to buy this land. Now, they're not guaranteed it because it's going to be an auction, so it could go up for even more. But they've already had a $2 billion arena entertainment district in 2023 voted down by the city of Phoenix for a lot of other reasons. So they are highly motivated to find a home. Okay, so they are fully planning on getting this this land, which is going to and have the puck fall, guys. Here's the deal: time frame. Here you go. We think a site plan approval process will take about until the second quarter of 2025. And our goal is moving forward with construction so that we can drop the puck the fall of 2027. The first phase of this will be obviously the arena to get the Coyotes a home and start playing hockey right there on the border of Phoenix and Scottsdale. Within the entertainment district, there will be an arena with they'll be home to NHL games and major concerts and events, as well as retail, dining, and live music theater. Love that, live music theater. And a watch party plaza and fan zone. Looks really cool. Renderings of the project have the entire entertainment district enclosed under one lone oblong roof, guys. You see it right here. That's all enclosed. Now, I'm not sure what you know about Arizona in the summertime, in Phoenix in the summertime, but it gets hot. So to have some sort of an entertainment district that is more than just the arena where maybe you're going to watch a concert, but outside of it too, all the food, dining, etc., maybe around there, concessions, whatever, under roof as well, air conditioned. Haha, sign me up. That is brilliant by the Coyotes to do this, or the developer, the owner of the Coyotes to do this, right? So it's already zoned up for 1,900, already zoned currently for 1,900 residential units, and it's what the development team will be looking to add. So there'll also be 30 acres on the west side of the property to be safe for future development, guys. But what's interesting is in Tempe, this wasn't already zoned for that type of a project, having multi-use, right? Where you have living, work, sports, all in one entertainment district, okay? Now here, because of zoning where it's already at, for 1,900 residential units, it's already zoned and ready to go to have that additional multi-use, mixed-use space in the and around the district of where the arena is going to be right there. So that's pretty cool, guys. Now, who's going to pay for it? Good question. This is the best part if you're a resident of Phoenix or Scottsdale. The Coyotes are covering 100% of the cost, or at least the vast majority of it, right? and they're looking at spending, an opening bid of 68 million dollars for the land. Now, will somebody else bid this up a little bit, knowing that they're kind of desperate to get this land? Who knows? Hopefully, no one plays dirty pool like that, because we would love to have the Arizona Coyotes. I mean, that location is just killer right there. Okay. But anyways, the Coyotes will be paying for the entirety of this development project and the arena, and that means a taxpayer will be saved from having to do most of anything associated with this project, which is what every resident really wants. You want your cake and you want to eat it too. Well, in this case, as a resident of Scottsdale, Phoenix, you might be able to get that in this situation. It looks pretty promising as that's going to be the case. So, pretty darn cool. All right. And hockey's already big, guys. Arizona is hot. I know it's a desert, but guys, hockey is big. Youth hockey is big. Club hockey is big in Phoenix. It really is. You'd be surprised. I was. So it's kind of cool to have an NHL team here. All right, let's talk about sports business and the Final Four. The championship game is set for tonight. You have Purdue versus UConn, and let's talk about the economic impact. There's some pictures of the Final Four on Saturday. It is awesome, but ratings are up 4% this year than it was last year's event, and the revenue is way up as well. What's really cool is that the revenue, as I got highlighted right here for you, is that when the Final Four was last hosted in the Valley in 2017, tens of thousands of visitors came to Phoenix, of course, and generated an estimated $324 million in economic impact. Okay. Last year's Final Four in Houston didn't quite match that impact from the game 7 years ago in Arizona. So 7 years later, Houston could not even beat that in terms of the economic impact it had in Houston, registering an economic impact of $250 million. Now, nothing to write home about. I mean, that is, I mean, you can't sneeze on that, right? $250 million is a lot of money. But in 17, Arizona estimated a $324 million impact. And so who knows what it will be for this year? We don't know yet. Obviously, the game has to take place tonight, and then we'll see what happens. When the numbers are ran, we'll follow up and let you know what that economic impact is. But it is enormous, okay? Enormous. And we are so happy to be hosting the men's Final Four. And it's going to, again, wrap up here tonight. So hopefully you'll be watching like the rest of the country. All right, so moving on. Speaking of basketball, the Phoenix Suns moving to new offices in downtown Warehouse District. Those guys, Matt, I'm going to mess up the owner's name. Here it is, Matt Ashiba. Okay, very wealthy guy. Started like Rocket Mortgage and Quicken Loans, I believe. Oh no, I'm sorry, he did not do that. He started United Wholesale Lending, which is in the same industry to an extent. But he is a very wealthy guy, and he wants culture to come back to the Phoenix Suns. It's been missing in the Phoenix Mercury. And so he is investing in office space in downtown Phoenix, a warehouse district that is awesome. And it's going to really, really drive the culture for Phoenix, the Suns, and the Mercury moving forward. Also, next to the new offices in downtown Phoenix, he is going to have a brand new $100 million practice facility and stuff around it go in for the Phoenix Mercury. So that is awesome for the Suns and the Mercury and for the whole Phoenix area in general, because that will drive more economic impact, speaking of which, into specifically the downtown Phoenix area, which really needs it, guys. Downtown Phoenix is an interesting situation because you have the Diamondbacks down there, you have the Suns down there, you have some good sized buildings down there and some businesses, obviously some high rise buildings. But it's interesting, you have these as an entertainment district, a job creating district. Downtown Phoenix is a big one. It's the biggest player in Phoenix, but not by much, because you have the Scottsdale Air Park, which is also vying for a huge employment center. You have the Old Town Scottsdale area, which is a huge entertainment district area. And then you have the Westgate area where the Arizona Cardinals play, and the men's Final Four is currently going to be tonight, and all the shops and dining around it. So you have these competing epicenters of entertainment and jobs, and a lot of major cities have it all in the downtown area. Well, Phoenix doesn't have that spread out. So to have some reinvestment to the downtown Phoenix area, which is happening a lot. In fact, I'm going to stay on that ranch right now, and we're going to go to the Crane Watch in downtown Phoenix, because guys, we're talking about downtown Phoenix. The reinvestment in downtown Phoenix is huge. Cranes remain steady in downtown Phoenix. Not only is the Phoenix Suns and are the Phoenix Mercury reinvesting in downtown Phoenix, but look at that picture right there, the skyline. There's a lot of development from other investors and developers going on in downtown Phoenix as well, from new hotels to new multi-unit apartment complexes and condos, and the list goes on and on. But what's cool is that Phoenix is one of several major cities that has not had a decrease of crane activity development in the downtown area. So you can see right here, Phoenix, Seattle, Honolulu, and Toronto were the only markets surveyed out of 14 major regions that had a consistent number of cranes in the first quarter. Calgary and Las Vegas and Los Angeles were the only markets with an increase in cranes. So Phoenix didn't decrease, but they have the consistent number of cranes in the first quarter as the year before. Okay, so that means development is obviously happening in downtown Phoenix, and manufacturing costs actually decrease a little bit, or I should say not decrease, it increased less than the average increase across all America for construction costs. Phoenix was below that average increase from about 5% at 4%. So that's good too, and good for people trying to do development in the Phoenix area. In downtown Phoenix, guys, it could use it. So this is good. Awesome, awesome news. Now, let me pivot here to TSMC. All right, we talk a lot about semiconductors and chips in Phoenix, and rightly so, because Phoenix is, as you know, the Silicon Valley of the Southwest. So in Phoenix, you have Intel. In Phoenix, you have Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company from Taiwan. Okay, now Taiwan TSMC, we'll keep it short, already has two fabs. Fabs are these big. I'm not a specialist when it comes to semiconductors, but fabs are the heartbeat of what makes these chips. Right? It's the thing that you have to have, the big machinery, the big warehouse, the big infrastructure to make these chips. Now, this is TSMC right now from March of 2024. Okay, it is huge, and they are building two fabs. One that's set to go into place in 2025, and the other one's supposed to be operational in 2027. Guess what TSMC just did? They announced a third fab is now going to be built. So they're increasing their investment from about $40 billion to $65 billion right here in North Phoenix, guys, which is going to continue to create a plethora of high-paying jobs, engineer jobs, etc., into the future for the Phoenix area, guys. So again, if you're a betting man when it comes to investing, you might want to think about doing some sort of buying some sort of real estate. I don't care if it's land, a single-family house, maybe a condo, a commercial property, whatever. If you're an investor, you might want to consider the Phoenix area, especially this North Phoenix area, because it's going to be an enormous $65 billion project right here off I-17 in North Phoenix. Now, if you want to know where that is, let me zoom out on my map real quick. I'm just going to remind you guys where that is. Here's I-17 that runs down the heart of the Phoenix area. And you go up here and you can see where it says Northern Foothills. It's on this side of the west side of I-17, and it's just enormous. Now, this whole corridor, the 303 up through here, is now starting to support a lot of the manufacturing companies that are going to suppliers, I should say, that are going to support the TSMC big, huge manufacturing plant. So you're going to have a lot of suppliers with industrial buildings, et cetera. They're already starting to pop up right here, leasing out land, building industrial property, et cetera, to supply the big, huge TSMC plant going in right there. So the lag effect of what TSMC is doing is just the one of the many things. $65 billion plant is one of many things that's going to continue to have a lag domino effect on the rest of the economy, because all suppliers also investing their business into Phoenix to supply and make money, of course, for profit, the TSMC manufacturing plant. So guys, this is really, really cool. I'm super excited for Phoenix. It is awesome. And again, 65 billion from 40 to 65 billion. You can see right here, it's just crazy. Now, when is this third fab going to be hopefully in play, in action? They're thinking by the end of the decade, 2030, 2029, somewhere in there. Hopefully by the end of the decade is their goal at this point, which brings the entire investment by the U.S. government to $27 billion into the Taiwan manufacturer semiconductor plant. $27 billion for them, and the U.S. government is investing about $11 billion. I'm sorry, yeah, $11 billion. Okay, in Intel. So they said it's going to be somewhere in the ballpark of about $40 billion the U.S. government has invested into the semiconductor industry in those two companies of TSMC and Intel, both located right here in Phoenix, North Phoenix and Chandler. Okay, so pretty flipping cool in my opinion. And of course, the amount of money they're spending, like here's just one of the down all things, not just suppliers, but $50 million in workforce training development. Who's doing that? There are companies that are doing that will benefit incredibly from this. So pretty darn cool. Um, Lori, what's going on? Go Yukon. Love watching Coach Hurley from the sidelines. He is actually awesome. I do too. Um, I mean, Coach Hurley is intense. I'm an intense guy. If you love basketball, you gotta watch this game. Just watch him. If you do anything, just watch him. He's intense. He's on it. He knows what he's doing. If they mic him up during a timeout and he's speaking to his players, it's really cool to hear. It really is. Okay. All right, guys. So that's that. And we got a few more things. We're done here for this edition of YouTube Live Everything Phoenix. But before we go, a couple more things. 13 Arizonans. 13. Guys, I don't know. 20 years ago, you would this never would have been a thing. Even if there were this many billionaires 20 years ago, this would not have been in Arizona. But Arizona has come so far on the world stage, just on the national stage of people, of a very desirable place people want to be, not just for hanging out with nice weather at a resort, but also to live full time, even with the heat in the summertime. It is very, very desirable. So who are those 13 billionaires in Arizona? Well, Ernest Garcia II, founder of Drive Time Automotive and the biggest shareholder of Carvana, which is based in Tempe, is number one in Arizona, coming in at $8.9 billion of net worth. And then next is the U-Haul founders. Okay, their sons, both are on the list at $5 billion and $5 billion and $4.3 billion. So I don't know why one has more than the other. Yeah, that's up to mom and dad and how they left that. Who knows? I'm not getting involved in that thing, right? But either way, they're still good. So I wouldn't complain if I was the guy who had 4.3 instead of 5. I'm just saying. Okay. And then you have, let's get the list right here, guys. So U-Haul founders, you have LA Angels owner, and you have GoDaddy, Bob Parsons, who's local here as well. He's a huge philanthropist. Holy cow. He likes to donate to charities. Philanthropist. There we go. All right. Berkshire Hathaway investor, and all kinds of stuff, guys. You also have Ken Kendrick at the very bottom at $1.1 billion. He is the Arizona Diamondbacks' largest shareholders, guys. There is some money in owning professional sports teams. Okay. But in all, Forbes counted a record of 202,781 billionaires around the world, and 2/3 of them are richer than they were just 1 year ago. Who's number one in the world? Is not Bill Gates or Elon Musk. It is Bernard Arnault, who is the French conglomerate. He owns all the Louis Vuitton, Tiffany, Sephora, etc. And so he is killing it, and he's way ahead of everybody else. He's at 233 billion, and Elon Musk is at 195 billion, and Jeff Bezos at 194 billion, nipping on Elon Musk's heels right there. So, guys, that's interesting, right? We have 13 Arizonans who are billionaires. That's kind of cool for our economy, especially. And then we have the South Pierre project, guys. I want to talk about this real quick because everyone drives down the 202, and you're probably like, what is that big structure going on? But, guys, let's go back to our handy-dandy map, and let's go down to the 202, because not a lot of people are talking about the South Pierre project right now, but it is happening right in front of our faces, and it's going to be amazing. Amazing. There's Tempe right in the center of our city, the Phoenix area, and you have Tempe Town Lake right here, the Salt River, and Tempe Town Lake. Now, right when you get to right past Scottsdale Road, between here, you have a project of this land right by Rio Salado Parkway, right here on the water. And you have this South Pierre project, guys, which is a multi-billion-dollar project. And there she is. You have 3 apartment complexes going up right now, which are very, very tall, high-rise luxury apartment complexes. And then you're going to have this Pierre where you're going to have a couple hotels, a big, huge, what do you call this thing? Ferris wheel. Thank you. And it's going to be concerts, outdoor venues. It's going to be very, very cool. And McBride Cohen are the lead developers on this project, and they are spending, like I said, when it's all said and done, multi-billion dollars for this project, but it's going to be outstanding. Cantor Fitzgerald out of New York City is actually one of the main designers on this project, and it's going to be phenomenal. You see some of the pictures right there when it's all said and done. So they're talking about the first occupancies of this project to take place at the end of 2025, and the tower is to be complete in full by 2026, guys. So really, really, really cool. They're going to have a central green 2-acre public park in the project as well, and it's going to be at the heart of the project. Really an outdoor project on the water. I know it's not like, some of these water towns, don't be wrong, it's a Tempe Town lake or the Salt River, so it's not like extravagant, but it's water, and living in the desert, hey, we'll take it. All right, a few more things real quick. Howard Hughes closes a deal on their 365 lots in a huge Buckeye community, guys. This is the area right here. It's going to be a 37,000 acre master plan community called Travalis. All right, or I should say Teravalis. That's the technical pronunciation. Teravalis. All right, Teravalis, and a lot of development happening on the west of the White Tank Mountains, guys. So let's zoom out here, show you where Teravalis is going to be with 37,000 acres that it has. Here's Buckeye way out here, outside of 303 Loop. You have the White Tank Regional Park and the mountains right through here. It is over here, way out here on the west side of the White Tank Mountains. So a lot going on. Now you're probably wondering, Kelly, is there water out there? Didn't I hear something about water? You may have heard something about water out there. There's a lot of projects in the mix looking to try to get going out there because there's so much land. It's already in the city of Buckeye limits because Buckeye is huge in terms of the borders that's already zoned. So you have a lot of things streamlined, ready to go out there, and just a lot of projects and a lot of development, cheap land too. So you would be right in that there was an issue with water out there in terms of not having it, but contractually how to get it. And they have figured that out. So they have a assured water certificate for Teravalis out there in Buckeye, and it has 100 years on it because if it's assured, it is a 100-year project, guys. So a lot of good things happening out in Buckeye, and there's a huge aquifer just under Buckeye right there. So they can tap down into it, which they now figured out how to do with the city governments and all that back and forth, water rights, etc. That is awesome. And guys, again, more and more development will be happening out there because as they figure out the water rights and how to get that water that's in the aquifer and how to share it appropriately, et cetera, because it is there, more and more development will happen. So again, cheap land, maybe looking to speculate, investing, gambling, whatever you want to call it, might want to consider going out there if you're looking to do something like that. Phoenix is very, 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 very bullish. It's a very bullish city in the future. If you're going to compare all the major cities around America, Phoenix is going to be at the top of the list in terms of being bullish as an investment for population growth, job growth, and so on and so forth. So guys, I really appreciate your time today. Who are we rooting for? UConn, Purdue? Put it in the chat, or maybe just comment below if you're watching the replay. I'm going to go. I want Purdue to win, I think, but I'm going to go for UConn. I'm going to say UConn's going to win. Final score 68-63. UConn. Final prediction. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you next week on Everything Phoenix. We'll talk to you soon. And until next time, Phoenix, go ahead and just keep it classy.